Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we're back for episode 13 of my MLB 14 The Show, Road to the Show, featuring Saul Goodman, a third baseman, or really a backup infielder at this point, but primarily a third baseman, for the Tampa Bay Rays, and you can see he's getting a pinch hitting opportunity here against the Seattle Mariners, and you will have noticed another batting stance change. This one is going to be permanent because I use this throughout the entire episode, and I don't plan on switching it anytime soon. It's a stance that I really like. It is Neil Walker's. It's a pretty standard kind of straight up stance. He has a cool little toe tap in it, which you will notice when he swings, or when he kind of gets ready to swing. So it's one that I really enjoyed using, and one that I think I had a lot of success with. Although the numbers may not reflect that, I found myself sort of just getting solid contact in the ball and putting in good at-bats and stuff, and a lot of that is really just, that has nothing to do with the stance. It's a lot of just sort of like a self-confidence type of thing. But either way, we hit that one into right field for a base hit. Runner will come around and score, and that's going to be, I believe, our second hit of this ball game. So you can see Robinson Cano, they're playing for the Seattle Mariners, and we pick up a 42 victory, going 2 for 5. Trying to turn things around here. Our batting average is still in the low 200s, but we go 2 for 5 that day. That will bring it up a little bit. So we're going to cap off this 3-game set with an afternoon affair against the Seattle Mariners. And once again, getting into their bullpen, we're going to hit that one into deep left center field. That one is going to get down and one hop up off the wall. That will be extra bases. However, once again, Saul Goodman makes a base running mistake, overruns second base a little bit. Honestly, don't know what I was thinking. I had no chance of getting 3 there, but sort of overran it, tried to go back, and was not able to get back in time. Honestly, I think it's a little bit ridiculous to get thrown out in a situation like that because we barely overran the bag, but at the same time, stupid decision on my part in the first place. Don't know what I was thinking. So here, top of the 8th, 3-3 ball game. It's time for the Better Call Saul moment of the episode. Top of the 8th inning, Jason Frazier on the mound. Saul with a chance to give the Rays a lead here. The first pitch of the AB. That's going to be left over the plate, and Goodman drives it into left center field for a base hit. That's going to get down, 2 hop up off the wall, and Goodman is going to get into second base with a 2 RBI double that will give the Rays a 5-3 lead, and the Rays would go on to win this ball game by a score of 6-5. We actually came around and scored. That would be the 6th run. The Orioles added on 2 in the 9th, I believe, but they could not quite complete the comeback. So we're into the first game of this set against the Los Angeles Angels. But before that, we have a training session, a little fielding training session. And as always, I don't really like to show these, but I do show me kind of getting the training points because that is, you know, a big part of Road to the Show is getting the training points and sort of building your player up, and I find that that's important enough to kind of show those type of moments. But either way, we are into a series against the Angels, and one thing I noticed about Road to the Show, and I really hope this doesn't happen in my franchise too, but the scheduling gets really screwed up as you go to multiple seasons. We've been starting series on like Saturdays, basically like the whole calendar is like bumped up by a day. So, or it's almost, or you can even say it's behind by a day because all the series start on like Saturdays and like Wednesdays, and it's a little bit off. But anyway, I hope and it's not really a huge deal. I just kind of hope it doesn't happen in the franchise or whatever. But either way, you can see the theme for this episode was kind of getting BABIP'd, and if you guys don't know what that means, it's basically sort of hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball well enough to get a hit, but it just sort of results in bad luck. It's right to somebody, or it's to a deep part of the ballpark, and especially hitting it to deep parts of the ballpark. I found this episode, you're going to see a lot of deep fly balls to center field, 400 feet out, that are going to get caught on the warning track. You're going to see line drives caught by defense, or gloved by fielders or whatever. And I think, although our batting average still kind of hangs in the low 200s this episode, I think we hit the ball really well, and you'll see it throughout the episode that we do sort of get BABIP throughout. But either way, we end up striking out looking there. I believe that was Garrett Richards on the mound. Yes, it was. And we end up going 0 for 4 that day. So still, despite seeing a lot of highlights, especially with Neil Walker's stance, it's still it's not quite there. We're not quite there yet we're not quite ready to be an everyday player, but we shoot this one into right field. That was a no-doubter in my mind. I knew that was getting out from the right after I hit that one. That's off Michael Pineda, and that's a 2-run shot for Saul Goodman. His first of the episode, just, I believe, his second of his major league career. He only had 1 in the last episode, so that would make this one number 2. We touch them all here and give, I believe, actually I'm not really too sure what the score is, but we score Alan Jones, and that's a big right there. It's always good to see Saul starting to hit for power. I've sort of talked about it before, but I'll touch on it again. I sort of project him as a 25-30 home run hitter with lots of doubles, lots of gap power, high slugging percentage, and here we actually almost hit it out. That one was caught right on the warning track, about 370 feet out. Deep enough to hit it out in a lot of places, or a lot of ballparks, and just a lot of different parts of the field. But A line shot caught by Beltran. Here is a cool thing. Not too many defensive highlights this episode, but it actually happened twice in this Yankees series. We actually get to play the shift here a little bit. We're playing shortstop today, and check out this sweet backhand pick we make. We'll fire onto first in time. So that's really cool that the game recognizes the shifts when you're in road to the show mode, and you will sort of get shifted out into positions. And you know, obviously there's more shifts than just sort of the shift, which is obviously the one for left-handed pull hitters, and it's occasionally ran for right-handed pull hitters, but not usually. Here's another example of just sort of lining out to the warning track, coming oh so close, and you know, outs like that, although you know they won't sort of show up in the box score, I think that does show that we're hitting the ball well. And here's another one. This is the third time in the same Yankees game. That one not quite as deep. We actually got under that one a little bit, but either way, we go 1 for 4 with a homer and 3 pretty deep flyouts. So good game, I would say, out of Saul, and playing the shift was pretty cool. You're going to see here it again. We're actually at second base this game, and Brian McCann's up. We're going to get shifted into shallow right field, and we will get a ground ball here, I do believe, in just a moment. I think that is Alex Cobb on the mound. Yes, it is. I can tell by his really slow pitching windup in this game, but slow roller. We come up, fire at the first in time. So cool. My MLB the show right there. I do think that is you know, a good part of the game that adds to realism, and I just thought it was cool that MLB the show sort of includes that into their game. But either way, here's another example, sort of getting bad, but Mark Teixeira catches a line drive right at him, and we actually end up going 0 for 5 this game. So not a strong game out of Saul, and the hitting is, you know, like I said, the stats aren't showing it, but I think the hitting is starting to come around a little bit. 30-25 is our record heading into the series against Detroit. Josh Beckett on the mound. We take him to the opposite field, deep left, but again, that's going to be caught right in front of the warning track, hitting the ball well, and I guess, you know, I mean, hitting it 5 feet in front of the warning track isn't hitting it that well, but the point is, we're making contact, we're making solid contact, and here's another one that Austin Jackson's going to catch 400 feet out, which really, you know, if you hit that to any other part of the ballpark, it's going to be a home run. So, like I said, those outs don't concern me. 0 for 3 is, or would be, our final stat line for the game. Now, against Detroit again, here's Justin Verlander on the mound. We had a bit more success off of Verlander than we did off Beckett, ironically. That one gets past, I believe that's Rajai Davis out in center field. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Goodman rounding second, heading for 3. He's going to get there in time, and it is going to be a triple. And check out Alex Avila playing third base. Some mismatching positions with Davis in center and Avila in third. But anyways, here I'm going to show you a full at-bat against Justin Verlander. So it's 1-1 here. The 1-1 pitch from Verlander, that is going to be swung on and missed. So we're behind in the count 1-2. And check out the play discipline from Goodman. Just a great at-bat here. He takes a 2-2 curveball, 3-2, or takes another 2. He took a 1-2 curveball, 3-2 curveball, fouls off a 3-2 fastball, and then back again on 3-2. The 8th pitch of the AB is ball 4. A great at-bat from Goodman there, working back from being down 1-2. Off of one of the best pitchers in baseball, Justin Verlander. Although he has not pitched like it really in the last 18 months, still very highly rated in the game, very effective in the game. We failed to reach base against for the rest of the game, so still an effective pitcher and still a good at bat against the, you know, like I said, a formidable foe. So here we go, another field training session, and our playing time has been sort of consistent in spurts and then inconsistent in other spurts. There's been times where we've played 7 or 8 straight games, playing, you know, really anywhere in the infield, and then there's sort of been series like you just saw against Cleveland where we don't get any action. So that's sort of what our playing time situation is right now. Not an everyday player quite yet. Not sure if that's ever really going to happen with Evan Longoria in front of us. I don't know if there's going to be some sort of positional change or a trade coming anytime soon, but here we reach the beginning of June, and you can see Saul in his last 80 at-bats, which came over the course of May. Saul hit .213 in that span. Like I said, the numbers don't reflect it, but I still think that Saul is putting some good bat on ball. I think he's still just hitting the ball, you know, quite fine. I think you'll see his average come up a little bit here in the second half of the season, although we don't get quite to the halfway point. I do think we get like 70 games in by the end of this episode. So like I think that hitting will start to come around a little bit stat-wise. As of now, I think we are putting some good bat on ball. So actually we get intentionally walked here, not something I would do against a .213 hitter, but either way, they load the bases for, I believe, I don't know who was hitting behind us, but they set up a double play, and it looks like we got to third, so I don't think that worked too effectively, but we go 1 for 4 that day, reach base the second time, and then here was a bit of a spark plug, and I was in a Skype call with a friend while recording this, and I said, hey, look, I'm facing Edison Volquez. Maybe I can start to turn it around a little bit. Sometimes all you need is a game against a really bad pitcher like Edison Volquez. If you guys don't know about Edison Volquez, he led the major leagues in ERA among qualified pitchers last year with like a 6.14 or something, or it was a 5.14 maybe, but either way, here's our second hit off of him. This time it's an extra base hit. We fit the ball well a couple times here against him. 2 for 2 so far. We're going to come up later in the game And right about here in the bottom of the 6th inning, still a 1-1 game. Team has not hit very well off him, but I am having quite the day against him. That's another line shot. That will drop in front of McCutcheon in center field, and that is our 3rd hit of the ball game. So here we go, getting a bit of a spark plug from Edison Volquez. And you're going to see we end up going 3 for 4 that day. Pretty good day at the plate. Maybe some of that BABIP is starting to even out. Well, the next game is going to be against Jason Vargas, somebody who has been, a reasonably effective pitcher throughout his career, but he does not exactly have, great stuff. I mean, he's got good control, he's got good movement on his pitches, but he doesn't throw hard, and he's a hittable guy. So we line one into right there, caught by Nori Aoki, kind of bad luck there. Well, the next time, we're not going to leave this one up to luck. We're going to hit this 350 feet out into the left field bleachers. That one is gone. A solo home run for Saul, and I actually thought that was going to be caught on the warning tracks. That's why I didn't even keep running past first base there, and that's why I sort of paused. But either way, that is our 2nd home run of the episode, 3rd on the season, 3rd in our career. This one is a solo job against Jason Vargas. Like I said, kind of a control guy, finesse pitcher, but those guys tend to be reasonably easy to hit, especially when they throw fastballs in MLB The Show. And, well, we took advantage there. We ended up only going 1 for 4 that day, but like I said, we hit the ball hard in that second at-bat, so thought Saul hit the ball pretty well that day. Now, next game against Kansas City, bottom of the 3rd, man on second. That's going to be lined down the left field line. More of a slow roller, but we will take it either way. Run is going to come around and score. Goodman heading for 2. He will dive and be out. I thought the throw was in time, but the tag didn't look like it got there quite as Saul hit the bag. But either way, we go 1 for 4 that day. An RBI single. Now the next series, the first game of the series, will be against the Toronto Blue Jays. Actually, I think we might have gotten the day off in the first game. This looks like it might have been the 2nd game of the series. And we crushed this one in deep right field once again, or right center field, I should say. Once again, though, caught on the warning track. Later in the game, top of the 8th, 6-2. That one is going to find a hole for a base hit, so Goodman now on a bit of a hit streak here. I'm not trying to, I guess infer that, or not infer, but imply that Saul is, on this massive hit streak. But I'm saying that we're starting to, find some holes here in the defense and starting to really, just have our numbers come up a little bit. So we're up to 235 now. Nothing special, but I think that, I think, like I said throughout the episode, I think we're just sort of starting to hit the ball all right here. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy episode 13, and so I'm out. Peace.